Well, hi everybody. This is going to be totally different. This is how crazy my day was. 2 days ago, uh, my dog was having trouble walking, and his collar. I always keep two collars on him because he's so strong, and I've had two collars on him for like 4 years now, and somehow the one got worked under the other one, and it was too tight. So when he'd run, it caused the skin to wear out, and it caused an abrasion. So he's hobbling around, right, and as he was having trouble controlling his back legs. So I thought, well, maybe it's spinal or something because he couldn't get up on his table and he couldn't move around right and all. So my crazy neighbor George, who I've known for 72 years since the day he was born. Well, I didn't know I was only a year old at the time, but we've known each other since each of us were babies. Well, he comes out and he says, I called him because I thought my dog was dying or something. He comes out and he says, "Oh, it's too hot. That's the problem." I said, "No, it's not heat, George, because there's been a lot hotter days." He said, "No, it's too hot, too hot." I said, "No, it's not the heat. It's because it's something wrong with his spine or something, because he was wobbling and didn't have any push to get up on the table, and he loves it on top of his table." So I said, "Here, help me move the table so he doesn't get further injured." So then the abrasion on his neck, I said, "Listen, we're going to take one of these collars off, and then I'll run downstairs, run here. I'll walk as quick as I can, and I come down, and I got the Neosporin, and I put it right on his neck, right on in here, because he couldn't lick it or anything, so I didn't have any problem with thinking he could ingest it somehow." So, well, about 5 hours later, me and Trey come back from cutting stuff. Trey, I sent him out for the mail. He comes back with this slip. It's from Animal Control saying that someone called and said I mistreated my dog. Well, everybody knows how much I love my dog, and when I had somebody train him, I told him you have to train him with treats. I don't want anybody hollering at him. I don't want him to ever fear a human being, and surely I don't want anybody touching him or slapping him or anything. All I want is him to be trained with treats, and that's the way he always has been. So he's never had the fear of anybody because no one's ever put a hand on him, So anyway, so I call the people up. They say you got to call them within 24 hours, or you'll get a $1,000 fine. You can get up to 6 months in jail and all this shit. Hang on a second. So, oh, thank you. So what's he do? The neck thing is taken care of as far as I'm concerned, and it definitely to me it wasn't heat related because it's been so much hotter. His trouble with his back legs. So George keeps insisting, "No, I know it. I know what's wrong with him. It's heat related," and he kept repeating it, and I said, "George, you shut the fuck up. I know what you think." What's he do? He goes in and calls Animal Control, tells them my dog's neck is all bleeding all over, all cut up or whatever, and that that I leave the dog out in the tremendous heat. No, I mean I don't know what the fuck he said, but I didn't know who had called. So as soon as I got the notice, it had my name as Raymond Walters on it instead of Rocky. Well, he's the only one in the neighborhood that knows my name's Raymond, so I figured there's two chances. Either someone called and given the location and they looked it up and saw that it was my property, or George did it. So George is always bragging about what a badass he was in Vietnam and all this shit. So I went over and I stuck it in his face and I just said, "Are you responsible for this?" And he says, "Oh no, I don't know anything about that. No, not at all." So I couldn't get a hold of people that night, so I called them the next morning, and they said, "Yeah, somebody complained that the dog's neck was all cut up," and I said, "Well, thank you. That's all I have to know." So now I know who did it, because George and me were the only ones that knew about the dog's neck. Well, I took this over and said, "George, now I know who complained. He says, who? I said, you rotten fucking bastard. I said, why didn't you have the fucking balls to say something before you fucking called them? And why didn't you have the balls last night to say, yeah, you, that old son of a bitch that turned me into animal control, saying that I was cruel to my dog, which would never happen. Well, anyway, so he said, well, that's the problem. That's why I didn't say nothing, because I knew you were going to yell. I said, yell? You called the fucking cops on me, you jerk. And I said, and I talked to a person that's been a vet's assistant for years, and they said it definitely wasn't heat related. All right, so he called because, and he says to me, even a stupid person can be right once in a while, meaning that he acknowledged he was stupid. It's the only thing I can get from it. So the people come today, the county people, the cops, and they said they've never seen a happier dog. The dog the next morning was back jumping around and everything else. And they said that I did the exact thing that a vet would have done, but I did it in minutes rather than taking hours, and that it definitely wasn't heat related. And they said they don't understand why the person called. I said because the person called because they were convinced it was heat related, and he had his stupid niece, who's a 500-pounder, confirm that that's what they thought it was. She couldn't even walk out to where my dog is. And so he calls animal control and says the neck's all tore up and I'm mistreating my dog. Well, nothing ever could be. Anyway, so the people said they've never seen a happier dog. The dog's got a 160-foot running cable, 20 feet on either side. They said they'd never seen anything like that. He has 2 dog houses. One of the complaints is not filed on me, but often because the dog is stepping in its own shit. I said I couldn't even find dog shit because the place is so big and I don't know where he even goes. And they just said that they never saw a better connection between an animal and a person than me. All right, got that out of the way. That's not what this video is about. Then I go to work today, this afternoon, to cut with Trey, and he gives me this box. Because Trey tears down houses for a guy, and then sometimes they find stuff in it. Well, look what they found, and look what he gave me. Old beer glasses. This one is, is Schaefer. I haven't even taken them all out yet. But how nice. This is a different size, but another Schaefer. Alright, so to finish the story, this is just a wine glass. To finish the story, so now I'm all happy because I told Trey I'm going right to the liquor store and buy as many of these as I can. Here's Lowenbrow. I don't know if people remember Lowenbrow. Beautiful, beautiful glasses. So I said, I screw this. You cut and I'm just so happy to get these and so happy this dog thing's out of the way. So, excuse me while I set this down. There's a cocktail glass. Well, anyway, so then I decide I'm going to try to get some of these old beers. And last year I used to be able to get them at this place called Brewster Liquors, another cocktail glass. And in the process, I go up there. They don't have any of them anymore. This must have been a guy hooked up with Schaefer. There's another Schaefer glass, and they didn't have any of these beers. I wanted Schaefer, I wanted Schlitz, I wanted Peels, stuff that they had last year, and they said nobody called for it. So then I was still feeling good about the fact that my worker felt good enough about me that he brought me these glasses. So then I decide I'm going to another Lowenbrow, that I'm going to treat myself to dinner. So I stopped at this Italian restaurant, another Schaefer, at this Italian restaurant, and Bex. Been a while since I had a Bex. And while I'm stopping at this Italian restaurant, let me get this chair over here. Set this box on that chair so I got some more room. So I decided, well, let me treat myself to lasagna because I'm in such a good mood because of the dog and all the things that happened in the last 2 days. This guy must have been a big Schaefer fan. So I go in, I order lasagna. They give you soup and bread, and I know that I'm always so full by the time the lasagna comes. So I just told them, I said, wrap the lasagna up, and I'll take it home and eat it later. So when the lasagna come, I said, oh, there's a wine glass. I said, just bring me the bill. And they said, a gentleman just left, paid your dinner. He said it was an old friend of yours. He paid dinner for me. There's another nice Lonebrow glass. So I don't know. I didn't know who it was, but I thought, what a good day this turned out to be for a change. Starting with a disaster because of the damn dog guy. The stupid neighbor turned into dog because he thought that it was heat related, and when I didn't agree with him, then he called animal control on me. Well, the animal control people, I described what happened. They said, no, that happens to big dogs once in a while, and you did the right thing. And they couldn't understand why the guy called, and I said because he thought he was right, and was going to turn me the fuck in. And so George, stupid people can be right sometimes, but not today. Thank you for paying attention, and please leave a comment.